We're ending off this work week. Fine, tired, head is underwater, but we're breathing fine. Oh, my word.
Is that a white people song?
Do you consider John Legend, All of Me,
Oh,
a
sorry,
white
I
people
just sang
song?
it back in my head and I realized that, but technically...
Don't. Are you saying because he's light skinned?
Nope, that wasn't what I was saying.
What were you saying?
I'm not saying anything. I love him.
Okay.
I've got a whole lot on my Spotify of
Okay.
his music, so
Okay.
yeah.
Considering that we generally talk to people who are watching this from work or after work and save this, I kind of have to ask them online as well as you. What are things you hate about online meetings?
Does it have to be online meetings? Because I just, like a meeting, why? I don't want to be in a meeting, you know? And I don't know if I've always been this way and I just didn't realize it, but there's a lot of us here, you know, and then you see on your screen and there's just a lot of us there. So why are we in this meeting? Does it have anything to do with me? Can I excuse myself? May I excuse myself? And if I can excuse myself, then thank you. You know, there's that part. And then, I just want to say from the beginning, actually, we wait until the end of the meeting to say nothing from me, thanks. Can we start in the beginning?
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the meeting. Nothing from me.
Nothing. That's
Before
nothing
we
from
start.
Me. Before. That's an idea, though.
Oh, you know what?
Right?
I'm going to try that. Guys, I'm going to try. Hopefully you see it in the recording. I'm going to try. I have a meeting tomorrow. And it goes, all right, guys.
Nothing from me,
Nothing
thanks.
from me.
And then they see TK has left the room. Yes. That is how I would prefer that meetings happen. I'm not interested.
I don't like it when the host of a meeting is too inclusive. Like, yes, be empathetic and know the people in the room and they go, TK, what do you think?
Next.
I'm here to understand or to be part of the common base. I know what we're doing. I know the mission. God, thank you. If I got questions, I'll ask you. But
or you just go on there and you're like, my wheat bix is swallowing my milk. If you don't mind, I'll get back to you on that one. They always catch you at a time when you're just like mid-spoon in your mouth or you're doing something just really whack and you can't remember what was being discussed. But lucky for me, I don't have all that many online meetings and they're usually quite quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know 45% of remote workers feel burnt out from excessive online meetings?
That it makes sense.
45% is a high number.
Yeah.
That means people get peopled out quickly. And I guess that to some degree that I think that does kind of make sense when it's online.
Yeah.
It is maybe better when it's in person. But I'm like one of those I don't like people like that.
But better how? Because online I can mute and I can yawn in peace, right? There's so much that I can do in peace. You don't have to see my face. You don't have to hear me until such a time that I've got to actually put my mic back on and I'm there. So how is in person better?
I think in person kind of forces everyone to somehow be engaged, somehow, in some way. And of course, we have a very people-pleasing culture. Where everyone's trying to impress the manager or the CEO or whatever. So they're going to go, you know what, I always have something to say before we go.
Bruh, it's like church. And that person has been saying, I'm about to wrap it up. In the meetings, it's the same thing. And then you listen to that, oh my goodness, there used to be somebody that I used to work with that would repeat everything that was just said. And I'm like, sir, that's what he said. He literally just said that. And he would say it and he goes and he says it in a very animated way. And then you sitting there like, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
you're just holding in a yawn. So no thanks to.
But that's also the problem with online meetings. Like with the stats that I pulled up here, 27% of employees have misunderstood. 27% of employees have misunderstood or misinterpreted online meeting discussions.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are either repetitive because they feel like, because we worlds away, I don't know if you fully fathom what are we talking about, what we actually need to do, especially if something feels pressing on one person's side and the person on the receiver is just going, oh yeah, okay, cool, we got it, we'll get it done.
I get it if you holding the meeting, you call the meeting and you are repeating stuff because you aren't sure that people understand how important this is or if they're understanding at all. I get that, right? But you call the meeting and I'm the one that just said, so what you're saying is, or what I understand is not even what you're saying is to show that I'm understanding or I hear what you just said. So I say, so what I think, and then I repeat everything that you just said. That
I get that.
Is what irritates
I get that. Because I feel with what you just said there is, it's very good when someone says, so what you're saying is, and they repeat it back to you in their own way, just to make sure we're all in the same room and we all heard the same thing, we're all in sync, right?
Yeah.
There's no page left out of this book.
Yeah.
I get that. There was a stat about that, about how people feel. Where is it? It was so interesting. Not tech issues. Not 1 in 4 employees have eaten lunch or taken snack. Yeah. Can't find it. There was something about people feeling, I guess, 63% of meetings don't have a clear agenda. There was that part.
Yep.
This is it. 1 in 3 employees feel isolated or disconnected from colleagues. And this is tied in with 42% of remote workers struggle with effective communication.
Just become a better communicator, bruh. Like, leave the rest of us out of it. I'm going to need my company not to hear that 1 in 3 stat, because I don't want people to think that I'm feeling any way disconnected from anybody. I'm the happiest now than I've ever been in my entire working career. And I've worked at pretty good companies where I didn't mind going into work. I enjoyed, going into work. But I'm happy now at home. I don't feel the disconnect. I don't feel the need for a team building session. I honestly don't ever.
I sometimes like the blurred line. And I'm using that word loosely, not blurred line where there's complete disregard for what we do in our roles.
Yeah.
But I feel because I'm in the creative space, if I can't know who you are behind the work, I can't gel with you. We are both performing on the stage, acting. I'm not trying to act. I'm trying to actually understand your thinking process. So even if I have a joke about something, you understand the humor, but we can get back to the mission, and you know where I'm at. I think to some degree, I don't want to say require, but that chemistry / intimacy is important for me. Because then if I'm working in a stiff-necked environment, I'm not going to give you the best of me.
I actually prefer not to know. Because the minute I see TK out of work and the fact that we get along so well and everything is, it's working and whatever, and then at work you're an absolute doers. That for me, and it's not about the fact that it's not managerial skills or the way that you do things. It's just that you're a doers, actually, And then I see you on a Friday, and it's Fun Times Friday or whatever it is that we've got going on because culture. And it doesn't make sense. How do you act like a box on Thursday and every other day before Friday, and then on Friday you're like, hey, Ellen, let's do the boogie? No. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I want to know the other side of you. Don't give me the one that's really good at putting up reports. I want to know when you're not doing reports, how do you communicate?
I get what you're saying with the whole reports thing, right? There's work and then there's outside of work. I'm talking about just your character being just bad. You're not a good person in general.
Okay.
And then you find that out that, oh my gosh, this person actually isn't very good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I find it a waste of time. I work in an industry which is very high strung, but at the same time it's a very relaxed industry, right? So the motor industry, Fridays, I've worked at dealerships where Friday meant booze and a braai. And that was standard. 3:00, it's pens down and we're having booze and a braai. Yes, we're networking and whatever, but that is our Friday.
Yeah.
And we're playing pool and whatever. So people don't go home. They are busy experiencing the culture of the company. All good and well. But also within that same industry, I found that they don't have a problem having drinks Friday or like a major event on a Friday, like a team building something on a Friday, and then not even a month down the line, laying people off. You knew, you could see that coming. Why are you doing this? You know, it's sort of like, let's catch them off guard, or I don't know. Maybe that's why I just have a problem, because I don't mind people, right? My social battery doesn't deplete, or before COVID, it didn't deplete very easily or quickly. And because of COVID, I'm like, I actually don't mind not dealing with the BS anymore. You know, let's have a joke or two over like a 30-minute Teams meeting. I'm happy with that. An hour max, you know? And then you'll see my personality, because I feel that I find it very difficult to hide who I am as Ellen, you know, outside of work, in a work setting. So they're going to hear and see what type of person Ellen is, but that's enough. I don't need longer than that.
I've been confronted about that for me. People have said to me, TK, the person you are at work, we don't want the person you are at work. We want the person who's at the podcast. You pay me. No.
Exactly.
you don't want that one.
You pay me not to say.
You pay me to not be honest at work. You pay me to just deliver good results. I think it's a good time to start now.
You're watching before you weekend. You're watching before you weekend. You're watching before you weekend. Hey, you're watching before you weekend.
We'll talk about the week before it ends.
I'm actually getting into the...
Hello.
Yes, I'm getting to the hello.
Oh.
I'm black. You must, when you're at the gate and you came for Lobola, you must introduce yourself first. So I'm busy laying the foundation as to...
Stuff.
Why?
No,
we'll get to that.
Outside the... Okay.
So I just realized that I'm finally settling in now. Because every time I'm like, guys, welcome back to episode 52. It feels like I'm not going to be here for 53, you know? And it's not that Before You Weekend won't be here. It's me that won't be here. And with last week's episode, the people and just the back and forth that we've been having with everybody made me realize how important this is for them, right? The discussions that we have, how important it is. So I just want to thank you guys before, you know, saying hello, right? Thank you guys for joining us today. It is really, really, it's mind-blowing, I think, the people that are here with us and that join us in our little cafeteria every Friday as we talk about everything and nothing under the sun. So hello, TK. How are you? Ahman, I'm good.
It's good.
I had to think about it, but I'm good. Last week was heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy, but it's good. I think I'm going to be honest with you guys who are also watching. I feel like 51 felt like the best we've ever done.
Yeah.
And it probably sounds weird. It sounds weird in me saying that because it's like, oh yeah, but Calvin's not here. One of the three is not here.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's something about how it flowed and the subject matter. Maybe we did need the break.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna lie to you guys. After we did episode 50, mentally 2 weeks before that, I was like, when we hit episode 50, I'm done for a bit. I need a break. I have a lot of ideas. There's things I want to do with Before You Weekend, and I'm just tired. Let me peace out for a bit.
Yeah.
And think about other stuff, research other stuff, sleep, not have to worry if this is gonna make it out on time. And I think it helped. The break helped me be renewed like that of an eagle. Shall we get into the word?
We can get into church announcements. That's something that we can do. The passing of an iconic leader, spiritual leader, pastor, Ray McCauley of Rhema Church, Rhema Bible Church.
Yeah,
I think it is. He passed away at the age of 75 this week. And it's sad. And when I heard it, I was super saved at the time. So before church,
that was 2 nights ago. What do you mean?
No. I mean, like when I first, because we would watch it on TV.
Oh, okay, yeah,
right.
Yeah. Just turn your mic.
Hey.
Turn your mic too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We would watch it on TV, and we would have church before church. That's why I'm saying we were like at a point I was super, super saved. So we would watch a preaching, and I always remembered him to have like 500 parts of one topic, right? That's where I noticed that, oh, okay. And then next week, if you miss it, you can't miss it. It was like Days of Our Lives. It just never ended. And then next week is part 2, and then it carried on and on and on.
The Pentecostal method of preaching. TV preaching, yeah.
So yeah, it hit hard, you know. It really did hit hard because I found that it was easy to understand, you know, and also because I felt a big disconnect in the church that I was in at the time. That was like saving grace at the time, you know, for me. So rest in peace to Pastor Ray McCauley, man.
When I woke up to the news, I didn't see my friend send me messages while I was sleeping. So I'm waking up to this. I think the last time I felt emotional, like proper emotional, was maybe AKA and Ricky Rick. And it's maybe because of the big celebs, regardless of the industry we have in South Africa. I really, in my head, I thought there's going to come a time I'm going to sit with Ray McCauley. Because maybe I'm going to say this on camera. I've wanted to do a documentary or a feature film about his life.
Okay.
There's something unique about Ray McCauley that stands out and stands apart from a lot of these other pastors who seem to be doing well visually or perception-wise.
Okay.
But there was something that came off quite authentic about Ray McCauley. Now, I've never been in a room with him to see is he legit.
Yeah.
But from the stage and from the little stuff I read, it's like, he's okay with failing in front of us.
Yeah.
He's the same man who got divorced and then got married and almost died, and the country knew.
Yeah.
And he was okay with the country knowing, like, this is the fall, but this is what's happening. And yes, I still love Jesus. And for some reason, as people, for some reason when it comes to, like, I guess the Christian faith, we disregard the maturity to accept that as humans we are layered like this. Yes, in the ideal world, ABC should never happen.
Yeah.
But it happened.
Yeah.
And you can still love Jesus. It's happening, and you can still love Jesus. And people go, but why? And let me use a really stupid example.
Yeah.
We're still in 2024. People are still arguing about having tattoos. And it's almost like, if you get this tattoo, you will lose your salvation.
Yeah.
You go into a Chris Brown concert. You are from the devil himself. I knew you trying to divide the church.
My gosh.
Like, it's almost the moment we step into the room of hallelujah, idiotness just comes on. And I don't get why are we afraid to accept how layered we are. And actually, I should change my bio. Yes, layered, problematic. Layered and humorously problematic. That's a good, yeah. Thank you for helping me, for those who are watching.
Okay.
But I feel like that's to go back to what we're talking about. I feel like that's one thing I really appreciated about Ray McCauley's life. From bodybuilder, successful bodybuilder, you build this church, you're housing and you're looking after black people, you're developing black people, you raised some of the biggest black pastors in the country.
Yeah.
You had access to the president, and you were humble enough to go, I don't want to lead him. Take my other pastor. Yeah. Like, because any pastor now, if Cyril says, I need a mentor, they will gladly go, I'm him. For Ray McCauley to go, I am one of they for some reason the nation calls me the father of the nation, but actually, let me get this guy to help you. Yeah, I'm not the guy. Yeah. What?
That's awesome, because what I don't think people realize once they have decided to accept this thing called salvation is everything depends on you now. You know, and you can't be Jesus this, Jesus that, and then 2 seconds later, this is not about the organization. It's speaking to how awesome and amazing that name is, the marketing around it, right? Thank you. Now,
It's just how you.
yeah, I know. Okay, so no. The thing is, it's such a problem. I find that I am problematic because I have a relatable story of my own life for every scenario, and I just feel like it's going to get a bit much eventually. But when I came out of my marriage, I said, never do I ever want a Christian man in my life again. Because I couldn't stand how we were once, in the public eye, we are this. At home, we are that, right? So I was like, I just never, I went for a good 3 years maybe and said, never do I ever want to see a Christian man in my life again. And what I've realized over the recent, debacle that's come out with a very prominent celebrity who has accepted, Jesus as his Lord and Savior, is that now people are like, you see these Christian ones. And that is where I don't think we understand how heavy this thing of Christianity is.
Should we talk about that? Okay, wait, finish this.
I'm not sure if I want to talk about the apology. I honestly don't think that I for one, can talk about his apology, because if somebody else had just come and say, yeah, but Ellen, here's a mirror, So I don't feel like I can talk about the apology.
Oh, you don't want people to go, is this you?
I know I put the photos out there before anybody else does, so it's fine. I'm fine. But there's a rat in the ceiling, and I'm worried that it's going to fall on my head. Anyway, I just feel like a lot of people on social media, I went onto TikTok and the girls were like, oh my gosh, you see now why we don't want these Christian men. I would rather have a gangster over a Christian man. And I no longer feel that way. I know I was hurt, and then I just dragged Jesus into the whole equation, which I shouldn't have. But we need to understand that the minute I type and I put online, Jesus is my Lord and Savior, there's a lot that comes with it. It's not just a simple tata lento, it's going to work for you kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is hectic. It is heavy. There are people that are looking to you that probably didn't know about this religion that you are into and would also follow you, right? So I think we need to be very careful. I'm not saying don't proclaim Jesus, because you should, if that is, how you or what you believe. But just watch yourself. Just watch yourself.
But yeah, rest in peace to a legend. Yeah, he was very simple in how he brought messages. Like he was a simple person.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that about him.
Do you like him because there wasn't any drama? There was no dramatics and theatrics to it, just because you feel a certain way about certain people that...
I could be biased. Because I'm not going to talk about his son.
I don't know anything about that.
So my only question with that is, if I were to ask the South African Christian community, and now let me leave this here, I'm not going to put this on social media.
Okay.
If you're like a strong believer and you watch this and you know a lot of churches, the only thing I didn't feel was correct in labeling was calling him the father of the nation. I guess one, because of our history in South Africa, and yes, I'm going to say it like one of these white Americans. He was one of the good ones. Yes, he was probably one of the best ones we've had. Him and Johnny Clegg. I don't know.
Yes.
But I'm wondering who really, if we look at the big, more notable pastors in South Africa, who is the father, inverted commas, of the nation? And I don't think we can answer that here. I think that might be a question for you guys. Like, if you think, because I think to some degree it could be Basil Tyron, could be Chaim Tetwa's father. I forgot his name. It could be Bishop Masasono. And it's unfortunate that I'm using a secular way of practice to go, yo, we label the goats. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Who's the goat?
Yeah.
Like, is there a goat pastor? Is there a father of the nation?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that answer is kind of determined by who has the better marketing. And that's what it's going to boil down to. And that's the problem. But then we could also go, no, but ZCC, if we have to be honest, they have numbers that no one else has. but no one knows their faces. No one has seen their.
I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because I think Christianity is the only religion where if I don't like TK Ministries for whatever reason,
Trust me, I would get cancelled, but it would be a good church.
I would rather go to JJ Ministries, whereas if you're Muslim, you know that it's time to pray Friday, you go into the nearest mosque. If you are ZCC, you will go to the nearest, I don't know what they call it, to your nearest church, right? You're going to go there. But Christianity has just so many subdivisions on the inside that I'm just like, I mean, we can't even count ZCC because they identify as Christian, right? There might be a few things that differ from church to church, but why can't we just have one?
Do you think if ZCC had a global mindset, there will be the Hillsong of the world?
Definitely. Why not? Which church would you liken them to?
Who?
Let's say in America, ZCC, because they're very modest.
Technically the Mormon church.
The Mormon church, right? So that's exactly what they're doing. It just looks a bit different, but that's...
It would be hard to become the Hillsong because in the futility of our minds, we love to see a leader.
Yeah.
Can you name the leader of the ZCC today? No. We just know the two men, the brothers.
But that's it, isn't it?
Are they alive?
I don't know.
But
it just keeps on. Also, another thing that was worrying me is this whole family type thing. If you start a church, you've got a family, right? And you have a daughter who takes over one day, or she has her own branch. So you've got TK Ministries Johannesburg and you've got TK Ministries Cape Town, right? It's a family thing. Is there a way where you can have something that is not family orientated? Like, I don't know, but it's just not.
Can I share a personal story? I don't know why.
Should you? The question is, should I share a personal story?
My father at some point went to meet the pastor who was mentoring me when I was in the problematic church.
Yes.
In the problematic church, the senior pastor's son is involved.
Okay.
And of course, lining the son up because it makes sense. He's gonna hit it up.
Yeah.
My dad said to him, and I wasn't there, but he told me what he said, and that left him gasping, or like he didn't have the answer.
Mm-hmm.
He said to him, "I see you preparing your son to inherit and take over. What will my son inherit and take over?"
Yeah.
Because at that time I was very involved.
Yeah.
It was them over family over everything, and it was a very good point to raise. Like, okay, so you got your son committed to your vision.
Yeah.
And it's good that my son perhaps is learning things here.
Yeah.
But at what point is he my son again? And I think that was good.
Yeah.
That was the personal story. Like, okay. Stay tuned for the next episode. And the next episode, I stay there for another group of years.
Man, it's hectic, but it's really interesting.
Yeah.
The way we do faith and belief. I was chatting to somebody earlier, a TikToker, earlier today, and we were talking about, I actually raised this whole thing about faith, right? And how you can almost make anything happen because of faith, right? And this is where it came in. We were talking about the Chris Brown concert and the fact that there's a petition that has been sent out by Women for Change South Africa. They're an organization that protects the rights of women and children, right? Or advocates for women and children in South Africa. Cool. And the Saturday is sold out. There are ticket prices of 5,700 and some odd. It's sold out. The day, just the day of ticket sales, I put on my WhatsApp and I said, guys, the people that are going to bring him here are people who are oblivious to abuse, right? People who abuse themselves and those who are in current or have been abused before those are the people that are going to buy the tickets. And I think somebody was like, no, you're just being bitter. And I said, no, but that's just how it is. You're going to see that we forgot about the first incident that we knew of, right? Of him being an abuser. We skimmed over the fact that it was in June or July, I think, that it was something for assault again. This is something that's not going to end. This man is just in this thing, right? And another person said, if you had the money, would you have gone? And I said, that's not the thing. That's not the issue, right? But people, if he's got people believing in him so much that they don't see anything else. So just like in church, you can forget about everything else that's happening around you. You don't see that there's no future for me here. And it's not like you want to get to a point, where you are now chief whip. But you don't care about family, you don't care about friends. It's just church. And note how I didn't say it's just God or it's just Jesus. It's just church. You are dedicated to this home. So a lot of people are going to the Chris Brown concert. I'm not surprised that they will be, although it just makes me wonder about the country that we live in. Right? So the stats say that South Africa has a GBV crisis that has us 5 times higher than the global average.
Wow.
Yeah. 5 times higher. And yet we're allowing him to come through. The UK in 2019 denied him a visa. Australia in 2015 denied him a visa.
Do you know what the reasons for the...
It was because of the assaults.
Oh,
Different,
really?
Yeah.
They publicly said that.
It's publicly there that this is the reason why we're not allowing him in. For the tours that he had at the time, I'm not too sure now, but in 2015 and 2019, he was denied in Australia and UK respectively. So South Africa, I'm just thinking, if the petition was out there, then what would we say our reason is? We need the money. We need, the tourism and whatever he's going to bring in when he comes through. I don't know. As the president, and we know that we've taken this how many times. We've sat outside Parliament. We've sat outside everywhere. We have striked. We have rallied. We have walked, just to be heard. And we're not being heard.
I'm ready to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Could us bringing Chris Brown kind of reflect the culture we have in South Africa already?
Mm-hmm. Which is?
That we will praise someone doing something good and choose to forget the bad that it came with.
Oh, definitely.
And it's not a once-off thing. Study our history, study our celebs, our important people. We have the president of South Africa who took us through COVID.
Yeah.
But remember, he's also responsible for the dead bodies at Marikana.
Yeah.
I had to go to the highest one first.
Yeah.
We got Casper, Mr. Phillip. Now this stuff came out about his baby mom and whatnot.
Yeah.
And to some degree, it's almost like psychologically, we just need the one win to help us delete the bad. And it's in the back here, it's like, but isn't that guy that he... Yeah, but he filled up. When lost someone filled up.
Yeah. That is definitely.
And I feel like that's the culture the culture and the precedent we've set in South Africa, that if you can do something bigger than the thing that's marking your brand, then maybe we can allow you in. And that's why I don't necessarily want to speak on, oh yes, we all know abuse is bad. I don't fully grasp the Chris Brown thing. I know the Rihanna thing, and I know there's been moments where his name's come up again with other cases. And I know the other argument that's online is, but let's separate the person from the art. And I think I was also one person to say that a few episodes ago, sometime last year. It's such a tricky conversation to navigate because it's hard to separate the person from the art when the person is the art.
Thank you for saying that.
And in light of R. Kelly, Diddy, Bricks, artists tend to tell on themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to just read between the lyrics. And sometimes it's the slightest and lightest thing that you think, oh, this is just a preference in sex. No, technically he's trying to say something.
Yeah.
I think there's a song, I forgot what it's called, and I actually like it. Is it called Gobble Gobble or something by Chris Brown? I forgot what it is. Like there's a line where he says, he basically says, after you go down on me, don't kiss me with your mouth. I don't like that. And this is a very light-hearted. I'm trying to going very far. I probably sound like I'm reaching to you. It's a very light-hearted thing to go. Yeah, don't kiss me after you're going down on me.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, on the woman's side, when you say that, you're gonna go down on them, and you're gonna kiss them.
Also,
They're gonna
what
go,
are you
hold
saying
on.
to men? Men are going to be saying that to their women now. That I don't because he said so. I've got the. Now I'm saying it as well. So the people that you are influencing.
And it's a very far-reaching example, but it's like, I hear both sides. I know, and I agree with everyone. I agree with those who love entertainment. Chris Brown probably is the best performer we have right now. Unfortunately, the person who also has a record is also the best performer.
Yeah.
I guess it's also the same with when Jermaine Dupri said the king of R&B was. He said the R and R&B was for R. Kelly. Because they're saying, think about the greatest R&B hits you could ever think about. They come from R. Kelly. He either wrote it, sang it, or performed it. I fully get that. And unfortunately, it's almost the unfortunate thing is that it's the person we liked happens to be someone who is a cancer to the culture or a cancer to the community. And this happens way too often where the most gifted person without discipline or character becomes a cancer to the community.
I mean, I think he's proved that just all round he's a bit of a crappy person, right? But also there's this thing that I'm realizing now that there are heterosexual men, and I'd like to say men because I haven't yet read or come across anything that suggests women are that way as well. They are heterosexual, but they don't necessarily like women. I'm not attracted to men sexually, right? I'm attracted to women, but I don't necessarily like you, because you can't say, there's certain things that you can't say and shouldn't be saying, but people are saying it, and you're hearing it more and more often now, where people, it's just with men where they just don't like women. It doesn't matter, black, white, doesn't matter. They just don't necessarily like women. So they say and they degrade women at every turn. So that, I think, is also something that people should keep in mind. But South Africa, the world at large, is very forgiving of trespassers.
Yes, we have a forgiving nature as South Africans. We have a forgiving nature as Africans.
Yeah.
What do you guys say about the Chris Brown concert that's coming to South Africa? Because I won't lie, I'm still in between both. Like I kind of want to see what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared to pay the kind of money to see him, but maybe it's just because I love performing arts. As critical as I am about how people do stuff, I want to see, I want to study, I want to learn, I want to create for people. So from what I've seen, I could see he's probably the best guy out there. Like if I had the chance, I would go, yo, give me 5 of your songs.
Yeah.
Come with me, bring your team. I want to create something with you. I don't have someone like that in Robot Boy. Apart from Robot Boy, he's the only one I could go, let me take these risks with you, because no one's doing them. No one outside of that is prepared to play that game. Everyone else I can think about, let's play it safe because this is how Danny Kaye did it in 1965.
Bruh. We were coming along so nicely.
Sorry.
So
as an example.
I don't, man. And I want to move on from this topic,
Let's
but
go.
it's just, Let me put it to you, right? Actually, I think you know of this issue. I can't be there because whether I had all the money in the world, I can't be there because I can't be an advocate for his behavior, right? I was in a situation where I was with a friend, and it was her friend and it was their thing. I just happened to come with this friend, female, all of us female. And these girls were under the influence of alcohol. Her friends were under the influence of alcohol. And one of the friend's friend, her boyfriend, came on to me, I think is a word that I can safely say, right? And he got very physical. Let's take the friends out of the situation because they're under the influence. My friend just watched and allowed this entire thing to happen. There were men around. They just watched. So knowing that, this is now, I'm not saying that in your life there isn't anybody that hasn't been under or hasn't, what's the word? Experienced any GBV instances in their life, right? I'm just using it for this, that now you know that I've been, and this is just one of many, there have been worse. This is just one. You know personally somebody that has gone through that. Would you still then go to the concert knowing that it's the same thing? Same person, say it's not the same person, it's just the same instance, right? Same experience. Can you then go to the concert then, knowing that personally I know somebody who has experienced it, I'm going to be supporting somebody who...
Oh, that's an interesting viewpoint to consider. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he's still going to come, but it is what it is.
It's still going to come. The deposit was paid.
It's a hefty.
It's only money that I want.
Okay, we are moving on. But remember when he was last here? It seemed like he was...
I know people complained last time.
It wasn't... Also, the album was very techno-heavy kind of thing, I think, at the time. So it didn't seem like he was actually performing. He was just dancing. Keep that in mind. And then go on to artists that come to South Africa and give us a subpar performance.
Nicki Minaj.
Everywhere in the world, they receive the best, right? But then with us, it's Kisada.
I was working for a brand at a time, and I suggested, as a brand, let's go to the Nicki Minaj concert. Let's just create something around it. I don't know what yet. Let's just all go. I need my money back. Oh, I need to give money back to the company because Nicki Minaj looked at Africans like we're Africans. And I think
I
think now maybe it's only now that they're going, oh, wait a minute, South Africa, and it's like no.
I don't think it's South Africa as yet. I think
we're here now.
No, we definitely are.
No. I think they woken up like, oh, wait a minute. I think we're becoming the destination.
Everybody has been doing the Tyler Water Challenge. Everybody and their grandmama in church has been doing the Tyler Challenge. And then we had Maverick come here and give us what? So, and that's recently.
I don't go to Christian concerts intentionally. One, but I can't believe I'm saying this on the podcast. I don't go to Christian concerts because they don't sell wine at the thing. I want to be able to worship and like be tipsy.
That is not the reason why I don't go. I just don't go because subpar.
I said I'm layered. It's on my bio. I'm layered.
Please don't judge me.
I would love to have 3 hours of worship and know like, oh, it feels nice.
It's good. But you should be drunk with the Holy Spirit. Come on.
Hey, that's still happening. It's not like it's not happening.
Come on.
Yeah, Christian concerts are boring.
For me, they aren't boring.
Unless it's correct right
But he was here and
He's
did
been
not
here 3 times.
give.
It's here. You
He
know
did
who's
not
the
give.
we're focusing so much on this, but we need it. You're gonna change to the next thing.
Yes.
The best Christian artist performer who's been here and delivers is Israel Houghton. Done. No one else. I don't need anyone else here. If Kirk comes with the team he does everything with in America, I'm there for that. Israel, Oh man,
Israel doesn't
I
have
don't know what they did
fireworks
this
and
last one.
stuff. That is why. It's because it's about the music.
Oh, the musicality.
That is it.
I remember
That is
the
it.
last time I saw him live. It's years ago.
Yeah.
But this is how he starts the concert. It's lights off. He starts playing his guitar. His guitar can flip. There's a switch on the guitar that goes electric and acoustic.
Acoustic, yeah.
So he starts
Ooh,
playing.
I knew that. Uh-huh.
Starts playing, and he sings. At the time, this is a hit song. He's
Alpha and Omega.
no.
Okay.
The opening. He goes, "I got a feeling."
I almost did that.
The crowd
Yeah.
lost their mind. This is a hit song at the time.
Yeah.
And the woo,
Yeah.
all these South Africans are singing the song.
Yeah.
And then he flips. He transitions. Is it called transpose? Transposes perfectly to his own catalog.
Yeah.
Don't play with me.
I get that.
Okay, we need to leave the church.
That's it. We're done with that. But now we are still talking about forgiving. Okay, I tried. Last year, around about August, September-ish, we had a discussion about Paul Pogba and his drug ban. I think it was Paul Pogba, but yeah, he was given a ban of 4 years, right, because of substance abuse. Sharp. Now this week, it has been said that it's been lifted. It was 18 months, right, and he's going to be back on the field next year, January. In March, he will be in the official, whatever it's. Guys, I tried it. I talked about soccer for like a whole 2 sentences, but that's exactly what's happening with him.
Now you had all your questions going, oh, soccer.
Oh my gosh!
I'm here.
She can talk about. No, I did that. I'm
actually
very strategic.
I'm going to take this part and go, this is the promo clip.
I talked about soccer, right? But he's back, and it's been lifted. So we're in a season of forgiveness. Okay, we're in a season of forgetting trespasses.
I still want to know who killed Chris Honey, and we can talk after that. Bring me them.
When you want to talk about reaching, you're talking about reaching because it's not just one.
This shouldn't
person.
be reaching, but anyway.
This is like a whole. Do you
Including Nelson
understand?
Mandela, yeah. You think he didn't know he's gonna die, but anyway. Let's go back to soccer.
I watch. There's nothing much I've got to say about soccer except Man United is giving me like heart pains. I watch way too many law series, and that doesn't give me any right to talk about this. I don't know anything about politics and what happens behind the scenes, right, of running a country. But there's always something like, okay, and I'm not saying that this is the case. Please understand that. Do not cut this. I'm just saying there's always something where they say, okay, if he's got to go, if we've got to sacrifice that one in order for the bigger picture, let's sacrifice there so that eventually we can get here. I'm just saying if everybody is involved. But that's that about that. That's not what I believe. I just said there.
I'm hearing a Lion King story. But anyway. Are you saying Chris Honey was Scar? But anyway.
That is not what I'm saying.
Sorry, Chris Honey was Mufasa. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Anyway, next thing.
No, those were my things. We have to move.
Oh, you want to talk about things that make me mad?
Yeah, I forgot that you said that you've got something that makes you mad.
Hold on, before I get to the thing that makes me mad. The National Union of Mine Workers, COSATU or whatever, is it NUMSA?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know the trade union, right? Put it in the comments just to make sure and add the link while you're there with all your hard work. Yeah. They were protesting on Monday this week in Sandton. I didn't know Sandton had a protest. The spokesperson said, we're doing this because we know the government is stealing money from the people.
Okay.
We're giving them a chance to rectify it.
Reach.
This is what made me know this man is not playing with this threat. He said, if they don't, obvious. This is on radio. There was a soundbite I heard on radio where he said that. It's obvious. There'll be a civil war. You're the spokesperson. No formal, no legal chats. He said, it's obvious. In other words, any person who says this in a relationship, you know they've reached the end. It's like someone going, tell me where you were, don't lie to me. That tag at the end
That right there,
says, lie now, I dare you.
it's bro code. That is bro code.
And you got to understand, considering where South Africa's mining industry is, the amount of mine workers we have in South Africa,
Yeah.
if they take that seriously and the government does nothing, do you understand the shutdown that happens in every metropolitan in South Africa? Forget just Joburg. Maybe Joburg's going to be the most hurt and most biggest one where no one's going to work. You better work from home because your car won't make it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it sounds like they're at that point now. And I'm kind of happy for it because I support justice. I think my concern is when you have revenge in your heart for justice not being done to you or done for you, are you ready for the picking up of the pieces you need to do? Because sometimes anger can go as far as people losing lives. And are we ready for that?
No.
We've never been ready for that.
No.
And yeah, we can only hope that where there's corruption, and I feel like since we started this government of national unity, things have been slowly working and getting better. Like our police force is working all of a sudden. Now they're catching drug mules in airports. They're catching big heists, and like was Becky Cele in the way this whole time? You telling me for 4 or 5 years we've had a person who has no agenda to help South Africa be a better and safer nation. He was in the way this whole time, and now we are solving crimes?
I'm not saying that they aren't. And also, because we are such a crippled nation when it comes to crime, it's going to take a while before we actually see the results of his good works. Assuming good
You're
works.
talking about the new police commissioner?
The new
and
commissioner,
whoever.
yes.
Who is the new police commissioner? I've been wondering why are things getting resolved?
I don't know, but he's kicking, like he's flipping tables. He is flipping over tables, and he doesn't care. Like people are saying, "Hey, your life," you know, and he just continues. So I won't lie and say I know his name. I do not.
I love selfless leaders who are prepared to go, if I die, let me die because I became the solution.
I've been on that a lot this week, since last week's episode where you were talking about leaders and what a leader should be, right? So yes, that makes a lot of sense. But then on the grassroots level, like where we are in the townships, we don't see that. We're not seeing, man, you get these, the I forgot what they call, but they wear the green. I think they were brought on by Lesotho. They wear the green things, and they're in malls, and so there's presence. But then I pass you and busy kota. You know what I mean? Like there's something. My somebody in the family had a shop, right? And she said, when you eat, you never eat at the front of the shop.
Yep.
Always go to the back. The customers that are coming to buy your food, you're not advertising anything.
Yeah.
Go to the back and eat there.
Yeah.
So when I see you could be on your lunch break. It can't be here.
Yes.
You know, that kind of thing. So they always seem like, I'm like, if I just had to do something, I don't think you can catch me. I don't think you're prepared, first of all. I don't think you are prepared. At which point? Also, have you had a quota and then were energetic to do anything? Let's not talk about the socio-economic and the fact that this is all I can afford. But
There's that.
there's that as well. But pawpaws are hitting the fan all willy-nilly in front of you. How? Because I look at them, I'm like, what do you have on you? There's no baiting. There's no, like, how are you going to help me? Are you just there for presence? Maybe I just don't have the understanding of what they are doing there or what their purpose is. But I don't feel that they are much of a help. SAPs as well, I mean, We can blame it on resources. We can blame it. There's so much, but
What I'm getting from you is you're saying the security and progress we're seeing as people is only subject to proximity to where you live.
yes.
And that might be, I can see why.
I mean, yay! Stop the drug mules. Stop the gangsters wherever in like the major. Get there, but then also here, where it matters, where somebody is knocked over by a car and drunk drivers here. We know them. We know where they stay, but nobody can say anything. Why? Because the police themselves are afraid of. So it's we're getting not even the kingpins. We're getting maybe like the middle, but then there's also these ones that wreak havoc.
Yeah.
In the smaller communities, and we're just like, no.
That's a really valid point. Yeah, I never thought of it like that. Like, oh yeah, but safety is subject to proximity, because already as is, suburbs, estates, and the classes go higher.
Yeah.
Where it's a lot safer.
Yeah.
Already during COVID, I before we started, after the announcement, I could already foresee that if you are in a lower income area, the police are going to guard that area. And what was really disappointing for me to see in the president was, as a black president, you're really just reinstalling what was done pre-94.
Sure.
That, the police are going to be at the entrance and exits of townships, because that's how it was built.
Yeah.
Read Footwood's book. Like, oh yes, this is how townships were built. One exit, one entrance. You can guard that, then you know where they're coming from. Because essentially they're saying, if you want to control where the major popularity is moving, it's popularity. Population is moving. It's moving from the township.
Yeah.
And I get what you're fully saying. That's such an interesting dynamic that.
And they're
a lot of
moving.
people don't
So
think
they're
about.
at the gates, right? The fact that we are trying to move, like, I'm not going to bring this church. They're at the gates. They couldn't care less what's happening in the city, right? Boyfriend in COVID, and he would be like, hey, what's like the restrictions there? I'm like, bruh, go free, just come through.
Yeah.
As long as you can get past everybody else on your way, when you land, are you fine?
Yeah.
And people were gallivanting. I mean, majority of the people are there. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
Unemployed, they need something to while away the time and all of that stuff. So there's a lot to it. It's not just a simple, there's a curfew and let's adhere to that.
I guess this is back to the whole the old adage that art imitates life.
Yeah.
Like, we think about movies like Maze Runner, and there's a new thing with Anthony Mackie in Amazon Prime. I forgot what it's called. Twisted Metal something. Where it's similar. It's like, oh, there's the hood here where you guys are going to struggle. But if you make it on this side, you actually don't have to, you don't even see police in the next scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's
So that's South Africa for you.
yeah. Okay, this is the one person thing. I think we're on, like, we got like 10 minutes left, 8 minutes left, 5 minutes left or something.
You've got little.
In Soweto, 5 kids recently passed away because they ate something that was perhaps poisoned. They were eating snacks. And these snacks apparently included poison in whatever they're eating. We don't know what the snacks are yet.
Yeah.
As a consequence, the spaza shop has closed down, which one is good. My biggest frustration is the big news publications posted the walls of a spaza shop and showed the faces of 5 deceased kids. I think one is in ICU. When I was driving to the studio, I heard the sound bites of one of the kids complaining and crying about the pain in their stomach, and the mother didn't know what to do. Just hearing the panic, you can hear how intense the pitch of the mother's voice is, because she doesn't know what to do. There's no water, milk, nothing is clearing out whatever's in the system. They're in ICU now. And my biggest issue was, and maybe it's because I'm a parent now, there are deceased kids that these publications are comfortable with putting on to help push this narrative, but there's no balance in sharing the face of the spaza owner. And I know the xenophobia has already started. Well, people, I don't know, I was going to use a really bad term, but people call it xenophobia. I don't know if it's necessarily xenophobia in this case, but I know people are going to go, oh, Pakistani owners in spaza shops. And I kind of feel like such a story like this, if this happened in America, it's not xenophobic. It's protecting America.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised now if the police go, okay, now we need to investigate spaza shops the way we were investigating these top tier restaurants, because how does that happen? I'm still, apart from that investigation that needs to happen, it's why are they so comfortable to share the face of deceased kids? That broke my heart.
Owners, yeah.
And I actually need to do a TikTok on that, like the 5 things that changed the moment I became a father, and I realized how soft I became. That I got teary reading that, like why is this okay?
Yeah.
There's someone's parents now, and we know how social media works now. It's really wild space.
Yeah.
So don't think just News 24 and Soweto and the city, whoever spoke about this, it's gonna stay there. This has been repurposed across every platform. There's some TikToker, some Instagrammer, there's some influencer talking about it somewhere, showing the faces too. Why? Because by some journalistic law that protects the journalists, they're allowed to share the face of deceased kids, but they're not allowed to share the face of the spaza owner because there's a criminal charge that's under investigation.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. Why was a text and the spaza shop not enough then? That upset it. I don't know. I don't even know. I can't explain why it makes me so mad. It's just, guys.
It makes sense that
there's a whole Child Protection Act that says it's illegal to
Yes.
share the faces of kids online. Period. And even if the parents consented to this, where's your moral ground to go, guys, we actually can't. We got to think about who we are as a nation.
Yeah.
You spoke about who we are. You said we're very forgiving as a nation. Where the hell's that? Because if we're going to speak about that, then we need to balance it with the justice of showing the face of the spaza owner.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these spaza owners, the guys who own the spazas aren't the owner of the house. So do we have to now show who's the family who gave them the space? And maybe they were good for 5 years, but they needed more money.
Sheesh, man.
And I'm sorry to end the podcast like this, but this is the most, that broke my heart.
That is heavy stuff. Also because it's not just a yearly thing. Multiple times. This happens all the time. It happens all the time. And it's also a very sensitive topic because people are once people catch wind of it because of social media as well and wanting to be the first to post about anything.
Yeah.
You get old news that people will repost and talk about as if it is happening at the moment. So you get people, they're running a store, they're buying their stock from places that are credited and all of that. So I mean, you feel sorry for them, right? But as a whole, there's always something, you know. You buy a packet of crisps and you taste it, and it's like, man, there's something off about this thing. But getting rid of you'll have this surge of communities saying we want them out, and we want them out for reasons that we say is to protect the community, but it's not really. I don't like the fact that you are running successfully a business in my community. That's really the reason why we want them out, right? And it's not just with foreign nationals. You get people, just because a township is mostly Sotho or Zulu or whatever, then you get somebody who is Venda or what. They came and there was a lady that used to sell amagwinya. They chased her and her family out. They would break in, they would terrorize them all the time. And I'm afraid, because I think it's in Cape Town somewhere, where they've got the protection fees and where it's difficult for even artists to go and perform, because you have to pay a fee in order to go and perform. You can't just rock up and there's a promoter saying come through, and people want to watch. There's a protection fee. So this thing is very, very deep, and I'm just afraid of how wild it will get. Also, then tying into the safety of the communities and of those people, because the police just don't have the resources to help.
Yep.
Should there be, something.
Depending on how this flows, there will be chaos.
So I think that's about it. Mozambique is having their election. I'm not too sure about a lot of information there, but I do hope that it's free, fair, and people are safe, and they can finally get the country
in order
that they were looking for.
Can you please vote for the person who's going to put visa restrictions on all these first world countries? I love what Namibia did. America, you want to come here, you need a visa.
Yeah.
Europe, you want to come here, you need a visa. Now they're mad. Why do we need visas?
Yeah.
You do this. And I'm waiting for Cyril to wake up like, yo, everyone's trying to come here.
Yeah.
What's the game plan?
Yeah.
And you got that really foolish Home Affairs Minister.
We can't go to Cape Town.
I really believe, to some degree, there's a degree of racism that he has, a bias he has to his own race.
Yeah.
Because with everything he's instilling within the Cape Town community, it's like something's off there. There's a certain kind of person you want there. Not everyone. You offered extended concessions. Sorry, is that the word? To the people you want there. Like. Yeah, anyway, guys, sorry, I ended off on a mad note. We need to fix the country, and it's getting to me when I see there's an obvious solution and we're not doing it.
And that's sad, but hopefully one day we'll get there. This country is too beautiful the people here are just too beautiful to give up on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
so
us
that
home.
is it. Guys, that was episode 52. Jeez, man. I always feel like wholesome. So it's good. It's good. Thank you so much for sharing your lunchtime, your drive in the morning on Spotify, on Apple Music, whichever way that you consume the content that we give to you guys. We are truly, truly grateful, and we'd like to see you next week. We'd like to hear from you. We love to see how you guys share our clips and stuff. So meet us on Instagram. We're on Facebook, obviously YouTube, TikTok as well. Let us know what you think of it. Let us know your opinions and your thoughts on whatever it is that we discussed, and also some things that maybe you'd like for us to discuss in the future. So like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next week on the show that does what? Gives you the story, what? The week. What is it?
We'll talk about the week before.
I feel like Bad Boys with the song and they can't remember their own lyrics. That is exactly how it is when we talk about the week before it ends. That's before you weekend. We love you, and I apologize for that. That was horrible. See you next week. Bye.